Back again for a quick little chatty do. I'm already made it home for the evening. It's been quite a while since I have posted any type of talking video. That's partially because late hours, partially because I've been some health issues, including just by the end of the day my throat being sore, and partially because by the end of the day I'm fed up with it all. Plus, it's hard to come up with some good ideas. You know, far too many good creators out there on YouTube to justify me just walking around or riding around stating my opinion. Just checking out the muscadines right quick. Some quick little updates for my longtime viewer. Yeah, I'm sparing you right now, at least, from looking at my face. Just checking, like I said, checking muscadines and stuff. Some quick updates. Still employed, still same place, still can't get ahead. Still single, no chance of that ever changing. Wild black cherry tree. Not showing up too awful well, but maybe I can zoom out a bit. Okay, that's better. It's about a year old. Yeah, like I said, single, never going to change. Really nothing, really, the only real big change I have, aside from needing to mow the yard, is, well, a few things. One, I'm not putting out a garden this year, just because it is really more hassle than it's worth. I can't get it, you know, it's one of those deals where you can't get anyone to help you, but when you put the work in, they want to take, they're the first, you have people waiting in line to take advantage of it, but try to get someone to help you out, and, you know, you'd think, you ask them to cut their arm off or something. One of the big things that's been running through my mind, this has been going on to a degree for some time. Rabbit. That's the possibility of moving. And like I said, it's been going on for several months, but back in February, I came across this lovely article right before Valentine's Day on states that are great for single people. And one state came up. It happened to be one of the states that has a fairly, let's just say, more of a leave me alone type government, which I like, and it has a fairly low cost of living, and it don't get too terribly cold, which, while I don't mind the cold, despite my being young, I've kind of screwed my body up a bit, and so when it gets cold, I get to hurting more than usual. So yeah, my thought has been, within the next year, if something don't change, whether it be things get straightened out with my family, I actually find someone, you know, a girl capable of loving me, a job I truly like, whatever it is. Yeah, this old Bradford pear, I don't know how much longer it's going to last. But whatever it is, I need something, a meaningful change in my life to justify staying around. And I don't think it's going to happen. So I am looking at, within the next year, of packing up and moving to Texas. Like I said, it's fairly low cost of living. Fairly open, fairly free. And like I said, it's supposed to be a good state for single people, so that can't hurt either. Figure if I can repulse the women in Tennessee, I can repulse the women in a whole other state, and get close enough to Mexico, I can do it in a whole other country too. But I just want to take a moment to talk about some choices. The choices we make. And this is kind of a conversation I had last night with someone. I won't go into the details on that one. It was a late night conversation. And, I brought up that, sometimes, Bunny's curious. Sometimes we are confronted with, two bunnies. Sometimes we're confronted with scenario. The argument is, has everything been predetermined, or do we have a certain degree of freedom in running our lives? Is it completely self-determined? And it really goes alongside your religious beliefs. Personally, I believe certain things are determined, whether you call it a divine creator or fate or what have you. And it won't let me spin the camera around so you can look at me, so you're just going to have to see me pace around on the ground. Maybe I can do this. Sorry if my hair is sticking up. It does that when it gets this long. One of the things that, I think is that you get put into certain scenarios, certain obstacles placed in your life, and then what ultimately would determine what happens is how you handle it, how you respond. That's what, it's kind of a two system. I mean, you get people put in your life that shouldn't be there, and people, the timing is just off. And I'm trying to phrase this as I go, but it's one of those scenarios where you can do everything right and everything turn out wrong, and you can do everything wrong and it turn out right. The people that you think you want in your life can turn out to be the ones you need or want in your life the least, or that you need in your life the least. And the people that annoy the living daylights out of you, piss you off, and everything else under the sun are the ones that you wind up needing the most. The people, the person that you love and want to spend the rest of your life with can turn out to be the last person you should ever have in your life, period. And sometimes the long shot gamble, if you will, turns out to be the person you need in your life the most. And it's not just with love that is true. It's relationships, with jobs, with everything. We tend to put our pride first and think what we want is best. And in reality, what we want can be the last things that we need. But humans are a prideful, very prideful bunch. Myself included. And it really is our downfall. And, we tend to worry, what we did wrong, whether it's the girl who gets pregnant, unwed pregnancy, wondering what she did wrong or what have you. And the thing is, it could be that you did nothing wrong. You're just beating yourself up because, simply put, that was the obstacle that was put in front of you to test you. And you have to determine how you respond to that, what you do, and how you do it. I didn't ask to be, born with my anxiety issues, any other health issue I might have. I wasn't born asking to have the family I have, who not only admits to taking great pleasure in trying to make me miserable, but are very open about the fact they believe I do not deserve any respect whatsoever. You know, I didn't ask for any of that. But that was what was placed before me as a challenge. That's my challenge, is how I deal with that, how I move on. I keep seeing roughed up spots in the yard, and I don't know why. You know, we all have things in our lives that we don't want, we wish we didn't have, and we all have things we wish we did have. People we wish we had. And it would be nice if life worked that way, if the things we wanted were the things we needed to make our lives better, if the people we wanted in our lives were the people we needed to make lives better, that complimented us the most. But at the end of the day, it's not how life works. You know, I used to think, you know, I remember when I was in high school, they had us do this little exercise where you had to write the things you would most look for in a spouse or significant other. You know, your soulmate. And I remember thinking, you know, likes the same music I had, could play a musical instrument, yada, yada, yada. You know, just the absolute perfect person for me, and that they shared the exact same likes and everything, like we all do. And you know what I've come to realize? Sometimes, crap like that just gets boring. I find the people I seem to be drawn most to anymore are the people I have less and less in common with. You know, whether, you know, I've got friends that are atheists, Wiccan, you name it. You know, some of the truest people I know don't wear crosses. They don't go to church. They've got tattoos. They, you know, have alternate beliefs. But they're the best, you know, they're the people you would think would be the crappiest people around, and what society would say are the worst people around. Come to find out, they're really some of the better people. That's very much true. Now, I don't know exactly how long this video's been going on. About 13 minutes. Which is kind of long-winded for me. And, you know, it's the end of the day, my throat's still is a little bit sore from some of the phone calls I did from today. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. But and I know this is my usual discombobulated rant, but just think about it. Think about where you are in life, where you are, and who you're with. And ask yourselves, are those the things that are truly best for me? Or are they what I want or desire to be best for me? And then ask yourselves, are they really that good for me? Or are they holding me back? You know me, spent most of my life in the middle of 150 acres. My dream was my late grandmother's house back in the woods, 100 acres, to live there. But over the past year, I've had to combat with the reasoning that, or the understanding that maybe, just maybe, all this, as much as I want it to be for me, as much as I'd like to hit it big and get some of the neighboring land that's for sale, and it's going up for sale left and right anymore as the older people are dying out. As much as I would love for that to happen, I look at myself, when I look at the mirror each morning to shave, I feel like I don't really know who I'm looking at. And as much as I wanted that to happen, I have to accept that maybe all this, not those hills over there, but all this here, as much as I wanted it to be for me, my future, my life, maybe it just is meant to be my past. Anyway, let me know what you think. Later.